It's Monday, January 27th, and time for your Barbados Today Morning News Update. Government is taking steps to ensure that all players get a piece of the tourism economic pie. This assurance from Tourism Minister Kerry Simmons on the heels of complaints by taxi drivers and small beach water sports and recreation operators. Those operators claim that they are being robbed of their share of the sector by advanced booking systems of large tour companies. But Minister Simmons says age-old inequalities are to be blamed for the issues being experienced by small economic players in tourism.
This is nothing new, and it is not the fault of the water sports operators in Barbados that they have not been able to be brought closer to the cruise ship operations in this country. It is not the fault of the taxi operators that prior to now they have not been able to be brought closer to the cruise ship operations in this country. These are age-old inequalities that have humbugged this country and humbugged the small economic players in tourism for 20 years or more. And it has now become our lot to rectify that situation.
Minister Simmons told those gathered at the opening ceremony of the Genealogy Marketplace in St. Lucie over the weekend that a pilot program was now underway involving 30 taxi drivers at the Bridgetown port who have been trained and are now able to directly connect to the cruise lines and have their tours marketed aboard the vessels.
The water sports operators must now be the next step in the process. So I hear their plea and I ask them to be patient with me because I am right-sizing a badly constructed system. And part of what we have to do as we go forward is to understand that this process requires us as Barbadians to evaluate ourselves, to look at what we do well and tick that box. But equally, we must look at what we have not been doing very well and appreciate that there's a need for correction. And part of the challenge with the taxis as well as with water sports is that the discussion that must now be had is one of how we preserve certain standards, that we are able to make sure that we create a level playing field for all people who experience a taxi experience in Barbados and a water sports experience in Barbados.
Meantime, Minister of Creative Economy, Culture and Sports, John King, wants more Barbadians to take advantage of the opportunity to trace their roots. He made the plea at the opening ceremony of the Genealogy Marketplace, which got underway in St. Lucie over the weekend.
Take advantage of this opportunity being presented to you here today. The person sitting right next to you could very well be a long-lost cousin. So I urge you to start the process and trace your roots and find the branches of your own unique family tree. There are a number of exciting initiatives on stream by my ministry, and the process of digitization of the documents held within the Archives Department will start shortly. This will provide easier access for persons here and abroad conducting family history research. This initiative will be an important component of genealogy tourism product. My ministry will also establish a slavery research center at the Archives Department. This will provide critical access to the information of the early history of Barbados during slavery.
The Customs Department is on a journey to rebuild itself, to improve its service to the public and the business community. That's according to Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, who says a number of reforms are being put in place to facilitate that process. Minister Strawn was speaking to the congregation at the Thanksgiving service to observe International Customs Day at the Mount of Praise Wesleyan Holiness Church yesterday.
There are a number of reforms, including the implementation of the Trusted Trader program, for example, which will come on stream pretty soon. We have moved the department with respect to being able to, in terms of its IT provisioning, with the implementation of Asecuda World, the department really is in a position now to lead. And I know that with the support of the UNCTAD consultants who are here, that we are about to bring on the other government agencies onto that, such that we are creating as streamline a process with respect to what is taking place at our ports of entry.
Some sad news now from the sporting arena. U.S. basketball legend Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna were among 9 people killed in a helicopter crash in Southern California on Sunday. The 41-year-old was traveling in a private helicopter when it came down. More in this Reuters TV report.
It's a sad day for Los Angeles. January 26, 2020 will never be forgotten.
Fans of Kobe Bryant gathered not far from a hill in Calabasas, California, in shock to witness the smoldering debris of a helicopter crash that officials said killed basketball legend Kobe Bryant and several others on Sunday morning. Bryant, who won 5 NBA championships with the Los Angeles Lakers and was considered one of basketball's all-time greats, died in the helicopter crash near Los Angeles along with all others on board. He was 41. At a news conference later that afternoon, Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva said there appears to be more fatalities than the 5 initially reported.
There were no survivors. We have a manifest that indicates that there was 9 people on board the aircraft, the pilot plus 8 individuals.
While Villanueva said it was premature to speculate on the identity of those on board, it was widely reported by U.S. media that Bryant was on board, as well as his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna. News of Bryant's death sent shockwaves through the NBA and the entire LA community. Bryant's former Lakers teammate Shaquille O'Neal tweeted out, quote, "I'm sick right now." Former U.S. President Barack Obama, LA Mayor Eric Garcetti, celebrities Chrissy Teigen and John Legend were among the long list of big names to send their condolences. Fans gathered outside of the Staples Center in Los Angeles to mourn a legend nicknamed Black Mamba.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from our regional neighbors, the Rastafarian community in the Bahamas calls for inclusion as the Commission report on marijuana is handed over to the government. More in this ZNS News report.
Members of the Rastafarian community say if government makes a move to decriminalize marijuana and develop a medical marijuana industry, they too want to reap the economic rewards. After years of persecution from the marijuana plant being used as part of their sacrament, Cha Mickey says a potential industry should not be left to elites.
We already prove in this country already that Rastas could grow marijuana. We are being busted with acres. Nobody died on it. No guns was protecting it. Nobody steal it. We could do this. And we are not going to let no one say that we need specialists or we need people to come in here to teach us this. We could teach this.
In the preliminary report by the Marijuana Commission, along with legalizing medicinal marijuana, the body recommended the decriminalization of up to 1 ounce of marijuana and recommended that Bahamians own 51% of a legalized industry. Mickey agrees and says the industry has great potential.
Don't think limited to just the marijuana plant. You got to look at hemp as a business, oil, textile, ropes. All of this could come now.
Finally, the death toll of the coronavirus climbs to 80 as China tries to halt the spread of the outbreak.
The ability of a new coronavirus to spread is getting stronger, China's National Health Commission said on Sunday, as authorities in the country and around the world scramble to prevent a pandemic. More than 2,000 people have been infected globally, and dozens in China have been killed by the disease. This the latest from the country's Health Commission minister.
From our observation, the disease can be spread during the incubation period. The incubation period lasts for 10 days.
The fact the virus is infectious during incubation makes it different from severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, a coronavirus that originated in China and killed nearly 800 people worldwide in 2002 and 2003. A handful of cases have been reported outside China, including in Thailand, Australia, the United States and France. On Sunday, Paris-based Chinese associations cancelled a parade, with Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo saying they're really not in the mood to party right now. China says knowledge of the virus is limited and that containment efforts, which have thus far included curbing transportation and travel, and the cancellation of big events would be intensified. The virus is believed to have originated late last year in a seafood market in the central Chinese city of Wuhan that was illegally selling wildlife. That city of 11 million is now on virtual lockdown, and on Sunday China announced a nationwide ban on the sale of wildlife in markets, restaurants and on e-commerce platforms.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.